So hey fabulous people, it's your girl Chrissy and I'm back with another YouTube video. This time it's going to be a little different because we're talking about dating as a plus size woman, and I have my beautiful friend here.
Hi.
Her name is Natalie, and let's just get right into this. Alright, so currently I am in a relationship.
I am not in a relationship. Took a little break from dating apps, so I'm out here just solo dolo.
So you know what that means. Hit her up. No. Alright, so dating as a plus size woman. So how do you feel? Like what has your experience been like?
I've definitely it's been interesting because I've been plus size my whole life, so definitely maneuvering through like teenage years was a little bit harder. And finding like if you feel like feeling confident in like your attractiveness and like coming into your sexuality, so like that was always a little hard, plus dating, so I was a little apprehensive. Then we hit the social media age. I think that gave a lot of plus size women like confidence. And so it was just a little bit easy. I'm not gonna say easier because my dating life is crazy, but it was just, I would say, easier to show your confidence and like easier to put yourself out there. Like, I'm cute. Boom.
Period.
So I would say in my older years, like I'm in my mid-20s, so I would say towards like college years, it was more so like I know I'm the shit. Like, no matter what size I am, like I'm a whole package, and I'm not going to let nobody like lower my standards. More so versus in like my teenage years, it was like, you know what I'm saying, maybe I do need to like lower my standards, or what am I really looking for, or can I really pick and choose? Yeah. So definitely getting that, like, as you got older, like, nah, I'm gonna pick and choose too. Like, yeah.
Because we have that right, okay?
Exactly.
Yes, and you talked about so many great things. So yeah, I do think that social media was a great thing for just showing like how plus size women can have confidence and show it off. Shout out to like Gabby Fresh and just people like that. Yes, Gabby Fresh, Nadia, different people who I found on the internet who really helped me boost my confidence, as well as finding my style and just love for myself overall. So that was some really great points.
Well, yeah, thank you.
So yeah, and I kind of feel the same way. Like when I was growing up, it was more of like I always felt like I was like the ugly duckling. Like everybody around me seemed like they was so small and I was so big, and I was just like, oh, nobody likes me. I'm ugly. I hated my feet. I hated my stomach. I hated everything about myself, except for my smile, oddly. But yeah, as I was growing up, it was just like, okay, I could find, oh, these clothes look cute. Like my mama was dressing me in like Ashley Stewart stuff, which is like older lady stuff.
You wasn't getting a Sears voice. At least she was out of the Sears department. I
was out of Sears and Ashley Stewart. Ashley Stewart got some cute stuff, but it wasn't for like a teenager. Yeah, so
it's for sexy aunties.
Yeah, so like when I found like Forever 21 stores like that, that's when I really was like, oh, they make cute clothes for my size. Like that's where it really started going up.
I've been rocking with Forever 21 since it was Faith 21. That was the plus size name.
I did not know that.
Throwback. I used to have to go to Great Lakes Crossing and get that section. Like only one I used to carry plus size Forever 21. Like I used to be on a hunt. But yeah, I completely understand that. Like at a very young age, I knew like my body was different from other people. And that it may not look like what other people think is normal. And so just being cognizant of that, like just growing up and being so aware of myself, and like, okay, I'm aware of sweater, or I do have a back roll, or my thighs are a little bit bigger than other people. Like just being more like aware of that did like, okay, if somebody does like me, I would think like, okay, if somebody likes me, they either like me for my personality, or that's about
That's
it.
about it.
Like
No.
they like me for my personality, like.
Yeah. And you know, just in that dating realm, it's just like sometimes you just don't know if somebody like is really digging you, or if they just like just want to try being with a plus size chick, or if I don't know, if they think your ass is fat, they just like, oh, she just got a fat ass, you know, and they sexualize that.
Oh girl, they think you can cook well,
or they think you could cook well, or suck some stuff
you
well.
got this, you could cook well, like some shit, like.
Right. So yeah, it's definitely been a challenge growing up, being plus, and then going into that dating world.
Yeah, definitely. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
It's a surprise. Okay, so I want you to think about what are some examples in media growing up that you've seen plus size women either dating or being in an actual relationship. Bonus if they're black and plus size.
Ooh, growing up?
Growing up. Not now, honey.
Oh
no
my.
gram, honey. No TikTok, no Facebook.
Growing up, and you said in social media?
We just
or the media
no
period?
social media.
Oh, just in life.
TV, movies, radio, whatever we had growing up.
Honestly, this is a tough question because it's crazy that the stuff that's popping in my head is like the worst relationships. Like,
Oh no!
Like that movie with Jill Scott and old boy where he was treating her
Why
horribly.
Did I Get Married?
Why Did I Get Married?
Oh
That's popping in my head.
Jill.
I know, right? And she's so fine too.
What
Anyways, I mean, I really can't even think of anybody off the top of my head. Like all the plus size women I'm thinking about in like the media, in like a celebrity, I mean, like they might have had like hidden husbands or something, but I just can't think of any like outward plus size woman like that. I don't know, do you have any?
Okay, so I'm looking down at my notes, y'all, but only ones I could think of is Miss Nikki Parker chasing after Professor.
I was thinking about Monique. I swear I was.
Like that's all I can remember. Like this beautiful black woman just chasing after this nigga that don't want her. Like,
yes, and
he
that
don't
was like
want you, boo.
constant.
Like, and I was like, I think at a young age, I was like, I'm not gonna be that.
Okay.
Like, if you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Like,
okay.
I'm not about to be chasing after you, putting myself out there like that, and you keep holding me.
Right. No, she popped in my head only because I said like they might have had hidden husbands. Like I think she been married, but her husband just not like in the forefront like she is. So I mean that's a good point. Like now I could probably name like a few people.
And even I can think about me. It was either Monique or was it the Queen Latifah? Like,
ain't Queen Latifah a lesbian?
I mean, Queen Latifah has played a lot of fluid roles.
She has.
Throughout media. Whether it was Set It Off to like Last Holiday. Sus, Sus is getting her main lead.
She is. Okay, now, Last Holiday and Just Right. I remember those. Yeah, Just Right with Common. But with those two movies, like, she was like, okay, I got the man in, what was that movie with LL Cool J? That was Last Holiday. Yeah. Okay, and she began to find men too on top of that. So, movies like that, like, I could see, like, okay.
But
like,
even then, that was, like, high school age. Like, as a kid, I mean, I really didn't see, other than, like, Monique, like, just nothing. I really didn't see any, like, positive plus-size women living full lives.
Yeah.
And I think
that's really crazy.
It is crazy.
Never really like paid attention to it like that. Yeah.
Like living a full life, like not being somebody's spendthrift auntie or somebody's, like walking mad or not being in no crazy why did I get married relationship like Jill Scott and that bald headed nigga.
Not that bald headed.
He played an evil villain in like all
I
his
swear,
movies.
he just is not a good man.
Evil black man. All his movies.
Oh, if I was him, I'd stop accepting those roles.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna be the woman beater once again.
Okay,
like
it's Blair Underwood, Terrence Howard.
Yeah, like it's
Milk Dud man. Like
the Milk Dud man.
Oh my god.
all right. All right, so we kind of reference like just building up that confidence when you're in that dating world, having that confidence within yourself, because I just feel like it's so important to have that confidence and love for yourself before you even try to seek anything with anybody else. Like, it's so important, like just knowing your worth, knowing what you will and won't accept. Like, yes, as a plus size woman, I can say what I'm not going to accept. Just because I'm fat don't mean I got to accept you cheating on me, lying to me, treating me any type of way, talking down on me. I'm not accepting none of that. So I feel like that's like that top piece. Like, you got to have yourself right first.
Yeah, because just like how we just talked about, like, whether it was you saying, like, you know, like, we didn't have that much self-confidence growing up, and especially like viewing our bodies and being aware of our bodies. Like, so if you don't think that you're beautiful, how can you expect somebody else to think you're beautiful, or how can you expect somebody else to pour back into your cup? So that self-confidence when you are plus size, that self-love, no matter how cliche it has become this year, like, self-love is that first thing you need to work on, because if you aren't confident in your roles and your thick thighs and just how you move throughout the world, like, you can't ever be like, I'm not gonna say you can't ever be, but you can't be settled. I guess
it would be
like,
harder.
It would be harder. Like, you would need more reassurance, definitely.
Yeah, that reassurance.
And that's how some people, I mean, reassurance and like,
yeah. Or just constantly doubting yourself, doubting the relationship. Do they really like me?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that all comes with not being 100% sure of yourself or confident within yourself, for sure. Yeah. And that's definitely something that is built over time, but something that you constantly have to remind yourself of and work at, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so when I'm dating, normally I look for, like, you know, good qualities, like, oh, they talk to me, they you know, they communicate with me throughout the day, they want to hang out with me, they want to take me out. I look for men that, or someone that compliments me, somebody that supports me.
What are your favorite type of compliments?
I feel like, I don't know my favorite compliment, like, oh wow, you're so beautiful, or you're so intelligent. I know it doesn't always have to be about looks. Yeah. But I mean, any compliment that makes me feel good. Like, it's not, as long as it's not like a backhanded compliment, like, oh, you're pretty for a big girl, or you know, or a man that's just like constantly talking about my lusciousness, voluptuousness. Like, that's cool sometimes, but I don't need to hear that in like every word or compliment that you give me. Like, that gets annoying.
Yeah, that does get annoying. Like, Grand Rising, you juicy plus size queen. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, okay.
Not your juicy plus size queen.
They be really tripping.
They like, really do. Like, and it be them pages where every picture is about them loving a plus size woman.
It'd be like the graphic, like, little art designs of like a plus size woman, like choking them, or like sitting on their face.
Oh my
god. They like damn near being smothered.
Yeah.
So I mean, okay, so one thing I thought about too. Okay, so I think it would be good if we talk about what's the difference between sexuality and fetishizing. Like, what do you think the difference is? Because I've seen a lot of like people talk about like, oh, like, I'm not fetishizing, like, I just love plus size women, like, and if they put themselves out there like that, don't they want to be viewed as that? As like sexy,
right?
So where do you where do I
draw that line?
Yeah, where do you draw that line?
That's a
or good, how do you?
That's a good question. I feel like it is okay to show your love for plus size women,
Mm-hmm.
like here and there. But like for your whole page to be dedicated, like just to like pictures and memes of plus size women, like that's just a little too far. And I feel like that line is just like when you just like, why are you talking about this all the time?
Yeah.
Like you don't have anything else to post about. You don't have anything else to talk about. You don't have any other words to say about me other than something about my body. Like, can it be something about my beautiful face? Can it be like, oh, your outfit is fire today?
You know
like, you don't always have to be like, oh my, you voluptuous, beautiful queen. How are you today? I would love for you to come sit on my face tomorrow and smother me in your butt cheeks. I know that was a lot. But like, it be like that though. Like it really do.
It really do.
Yeah, like when I feel like when it just gets to that point of like, okay, like you said this, like we're past this. Like I feel like that's the line for me. Like just stop bringing shit up. Everything you say don't have to include something about my weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red flag. Yeah. Okay. Hello.
Yeah.
And that's definitely like I mean, as I get older, I'm not experiencing that more. Well.
In my older years.
Well,
she like
say that. I can't even say that. Like somebody called me sexy, juicy, pink chocolate, and I'm just this year. And
this year it's 2020.
It's 2020.
I'm 25.
And I'm 25.
Okay.
So I would say, I mean, it's happening less and less, but it's still like it's still a little weird, especially like talking because, I don't know, I'm not going to say a lot of plus size women deal with self-confidence issues, but many do. And so you starting off that conversation talking about sexuality, if that person's not, you know, like, if that person's like not putting, I don't want to say not putting it out there, but if that person isn't known for like talking about their sexuality or being open about that, and you are starting off that initial conversation like that, that's uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody, a stranger talking to you about your sexuality and stuff that you've always, not always, but that you always kind of, I still say always, just or hesitant about or have to think a little bit more about, and this is somebody's first message, like, what's up, you juicy thick queen? Like, okay, like you're immediately focusing on my body and I feel seen, but not in the way I want you to see me. So like
I like that what you just said. Yeah. I feel seen, but not how you want, like not how I want to be seen.
I think that is like just where you draw the line.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. And we didn't really talk about what you look for. So what do you look for in a person that you want to date?
Right now, I would say I'm looking for somebody that's nice. Just, you know, acknowledging I am a plus size Black woman who is, you know, college educated and from the inner city, just adding all my intersectionalities into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking for a nice young gentleman.
Yes.
Or a nice person. Like, sometimes when I talk to people about, like, the people I'm interested in or the people I've like dated in the past, I'm like, they were a sweetheart. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, like I don't be out here dating mean niggas. Like, if you being mean to me, I don't want you.
Right.
So that's something. And then also just being caring. I think that's important. Like, I'm looking for somebody that, you know, I can pour into them, they can pour into me. It's not about to be a mom and son relationship. Is about to be like a, you know, like a friendship, partnership, like that balance. Like I'm learning you, you learning me. Like, I think one thing I'm looking for is like for us not to both come with egos. Like if I mess up, I've been really trying to be good on like, sorry, like I didn't mean to ghost you or like. I've been trying to be good at like my communication skills because I want to work on that for myself. Or if I like, you know, say something to make somebody mad, like I'll try to just talk to them out, like, you know, like, this doesn't have to be, you don't text me for the rest of the year and you try to pop up like it's amnesia. Like, next year. We're not doing that pop up. We're not doing no random pop up. So, yeah, just somebody, like, someone's nice, caring. Yeah.
Those are some great qualities. And I hope that you find that person soon.
Spinstress life for me.
Not spinstress.
Detroit's finest spinstress.
You know All right, now, what are some? I know we talked about some red flags, but like, what are some other red flags that you've noticed or that you just like know about in dating?
Okay, so in dating, so let's not pretend we're in quarantine, kind of, in Michigan.
Yeah, so, like, kind of.
Like, so one thing that I've been experiencing over, like, the summer and still trying to, like, date and using dating apps is like, okay, we send a few messages, how are we going to meet up? Mm-hmm. So one thing that I've noticed is, like, a lot of guys don't like talking on the phone. Which
that might just be a generation thing.
You think that's a generation?
I personally do not like talking on the phone.
But even if it's like, okay, you need to go over this person's house for the first time, or y'all about to meet up, I need to talk. I need to FaceTime or talk to you first a few times, maybe like once or twice, so I can.
Yeah.
Hear your voice or something. See your face or something. Like, am I getting catfish? So a lot of guys have not been feeling that. Like,
but they don't want to talk on the phone at all?
No. Girl. Like, they would either send audio messages or like, that's about it.
What?
Or maybe add me to their close friends on Instagram.
So add people to close friends, that's how we doing it? That's how we doing it.
And that's about it.
Wow.
And so I've been running into that. So that's been like a red flag to me. Like, you don't even have enough time to, like, I'm not asking for you to talk on the phone every day, but like, if we about to meet up or if we potentially going on a date, like, I at least want to hear your voice and see your face once. Like, this is the era of catfish. Like, I'm trying not to get catfish. Yeah. Like, so I think that's one. Like, they won't even take time out the day to talk to you other than texting. And even if the texting is spotty, in those situations, the texting was spotty too. Like,
or if the texting is spotty, we can't get hottie.
Yeah.
No, for real though. Like, if we can't communicate in our talking phase, how do you expect us to get past that? Like, if you're not communicating with me, like you said earlier, like somebody like text you in the morning and they text you at night, and that's it. Like, what is that? Like, no, we need to communicate at least like a little bit throughout the day. I'm not saying it gotta be like constant back and forth, like I'm not doing shit. But, you know, like, hey, how's your day going? You know, I'm thinking about you. Something, you know, not just like a good morning and a how was your day at 8 o'clock at night. Like,
and then you get stuck into that damn...
That cycle,
Good morning, good night. Good morning, good night. Good morning, how was your day doing? Good night.
Like, how do you expect to get to know somebody through that? Like,
exactly.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
And then earlier you also mentioned fantasizing, like a man that constantly brings up my body, my weight, or their first message is something sexual or a fucking dick pic. Like, disclaimer, why the fuck do y'all keep sending dick pics like as a first message? Don't do it, because I'm gonna look at your dick pic. I might show it to my friend, then I'm gonna delete it. But it's not gonna go anywhere from there. Like, you're not even gonna get a response from me.
I don't want to see your Tony Baloney the first pic.
Okay, like, can we get a little bit of like, hey, my name is Jeff and here's my dick. No. Still don't do that.
Favorite color, my nigga.
My favorite. What's your favorite color, sir? What is your name?
Okay, yeah, like, what is your name?
What is your name?
Yeah, like, even have regular conversations, like.
That is one of the weirdest things. Like, okay, you think that could happen though. A girl could be like, oh, he got a nice dick, and then that could be the reason why. But then that would only be a sexual relationship because you're starting it off from a sexual standpoint.
Yeah.
Anyways, another red flag for me. I would say a man who, okay, and this might be weird, but I always want to know what they ex look like. I want to know what they ex look like.
I know.
She's like, I don't want to know.
No, that's none of my business.
The reason why, like, I don't have to see a picture of her, but I want to know if you've ever dated a plus size woman before.
Okay.
That's and that could even just be a conversation or like just a random question. But I feel like I don't want to be your try girl. Like, I don't want you to be like, oh, I've heard these things about plus size women. I want to try one. Like, don't try it with me, because I'm not here to try shit.
Yeah.
Like I've heard stories about a guy who just want to try girls because she juicy, and he hear all this shit on social media just about how soft and wet or whatever a plus size woman is, and he just like, oh, I just want to try, just dabble a little bit. But no, we are nothing to just try.
Am I a fucking sampler?
Am I a sampler? Like, no, I'm not.
That whole snack shit is cute, but when you actually like apply it to like somebody,
yeah,
like their actual snack, like, no, you don't get to just try me. I'm a human being, first of all. I'm a human woman being, so once you know what I'm saying? Like, I have the same anatomy as everybody else. I'm not no fucking different alien because I'm plus size. Like, my body is the same as everybody, so it's not no trying nothing out.
Exactly,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's, you can try being with a Furby or some shit like that.
Furby.
But yeah, I completely understand that. Like, and I think that leads to, like, I don't want nobody that's, like, not confident in me either. So, like, oh, okay, like, you cool with us chilling at your house, but, like, you won't take me around your friends or family.
Yes.
Or you just talk to me on the low, or you may just post, like, little shit about fat people, but then you trying to get my number, so then I'll be like, Yeah, so I don't want nobody that's like trying to hide me either. Like,
okay, don't hide me. And that's we kind of talked about this earlier before we filmed, but that dating thing, like, okay, this is like pre-COVID talk, but like, if a guy wanted to take me out, one place I do not want to go is the movies. Like, I don't want to go to your house, and I don't want to go to the movies. Your house, I just feel like that's just like too invasive. Like, you might expect something to happen. I don't feel 100% safe here. Possibly, I don't know, but I would just rather meet in a public space, especially if you're just meeting somebody, you're just starting a date.
I definitely have something to add to that. Yeah, like, it's this one meme going around. I was like, no, I don't want to meet at your house for the first date. Ted Bundy.
Bundy? Okay.
But
end up in your freezer.
I recently, like, got ghosted or whatever because I told this guy, like, I was like, hey, like, let's talk on the phone, like, FaceTime me, because he kept asking me to meet him at the bar, but I'm like, we need to talk first before I meet you at a bar. And so this happened, like, quarantine, like, it got shut down again. So I'm like, what you want to do now? He was like, we can meet at my house.
That's over with, buddy.
And I was just like, you won't even FaceTime me, so I'm not coming to your house. I just want to,
girl.
And
couldn't even do the bare minimum.
He just stopped texting me. I was just like, you want me to meet at your house for the first time? I don't think men think that through. Like, women have to think about the amounts of danger that they're in, especially because we live in an urban city. Like, we from Detroit. Like, we got to think about our safety in this. Like, meeting at your house at the first time, that may not be the best suggestion.
Even if you're not a killer, like, it's still a possibility. Like, even if it's a low chance, it's still a chance.
It's still a chance of, like, how you just said, like, it's a more intimate setting. You may be expecting more. The person may be expecting more.
We might be chilling in my bedroom.
Yeah,
like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, things may get a little too comfortable too fast. And so, I agree with you. Like, meeting in public or even, like, getting creative, but, like, Do a FaceTime date the first time. Do
a Zoom date.
A Zoom date, like something to show that you like taking some effort and not just, you know what I'm saying, trying to keep me on the low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember I was probably like 18, and this guy had asked me out on a date, and he wanted to go to the movies. And I was just like, I would really like to go somewhere where we could actually talk and have a conversation. Because I mean, if we're meeting at the movies, so we might talk like when we get in the tickets, when we get in the popcorn, and that's it. We're not talking at all for like 2 hours. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, let's do something else. And he said, you're lucky I asked you on a date anyways. And I'm just like, clearly that movies thing was supposed to be a setup. That's what I feel like. In my heart, it was a setup. It was a setup. You probably just wanted some vagina, and it just wasn't about to happen. So, if you're watching this, I'm beautiful. Anyways.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I unfortunately one of my first dates was at the movies, and it was a setup. So
it was a setup. It's a setup.
It's a setup. Don't go to the movies your first date.
Don't go to the movies, and don't go to their house.
Don't go to their house.
And then also,
and it's okay to say no. I think that's gonna.
It's okay to say no.
I think so this is probably gonna lead into a whole nother conversation, but this is a question I ask a lot of women. I feel like, so I ask, like, I'm a sex ed teacher, y'all, so I talk about consent, I talk about relationships, talking about how to be sexy and safe at the same time.
Okay, sexy and safe.
Okay. And so one thing I like to ask women is, like, do you feel like that you found your sexuality, or it was kind of pushed onto you?
I feel a little of both.
Okay.
So I started having sex kind of early, like in high school. Mm-hmm. But I remember in middle school, that was like all they talked about. 7th, 8th grade, mm-hmm. People just talking about sex, how they wanted to try it, how they was already doing it. Yeah. So I feel like through those conversations, it kind of put it in my mind, because of course nobody else is talking about it. My family wasn't talking about it, mm-hmm. So that's really the only place I heard it. And then, I feel like I was able to find it myself, because I wasn't like, it was brought up by the middle school kids, yeah. But I made my choice in having sex.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like okay, so when I was talking about sex, well, you explained yours well. For me, it was more like, I didn't know how to feel about myself, and so like when I was starting to catch like attention from men, it was like older men. So the comments,
older men.
So the comments would be like, "What up, juicy, sexy?" Like, and I'm like 15, so I'm like, okay, like people want me to be sexy, but I didn't feel like comfortable in that yet, and so. I don't know, I feel like part of that is still me getting comfortable in my sexuality, but not like, I say that to say like, it's okay to say no. If you're not ready for that and you're like, just development, like I feel like sometimes big girls, plus size women, like feel like we may have to take things, or and feel pressure to do something sexually, because in our minds or in society minds, this may be the only time somebody may find us attractive or interested into our bodies. And so that's what I wanted to get to. Like, don't feel pressured to do something, because, I mean, other people are going to come, other people are going to go. Like, go at your own speed, go at your own pace. Like, and I think that's real important, especially, like, being younger and plus size. Like, yeah.
That's a great point. Yeah, because I mean, and I had like a plethora of older men approach me when I was in high school, under 18. And I know I had like a teenage face with a probably like a more developed looking body, but I'm just like, nigga, I know I know I'm not fucking 18 or older, like. So that was a weird point, but yeah.
Yeah, but that goes to like just sexualizing black women's bodies, and especially being plus size and just being over sexualized. Because I mean, when did I start developing boobs? Like third grade. I had thick thighs. I had rolls on my thighs since I came out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you are a little bit more just developed physically, and so that is going to draw attention. And I mean, the guys that was trying to talk to me in high school was like 30, like,
yeah, old as hell,
like old. So yeah, that is a big point of like,
I'm mad as hell. We just said 30 was old as hell.
To a 15
to a 15-year-old though.
To a 15-year-old, that is old.
It is old. Yeah.
My siblings are like 15 years older than me. So like I'm like, this dude went to college with my brother. And I'm like, so like it was old to me, but
yeah,
I think that is just a big thing of like just a red flag. Like if a guy is trying to push up on you too fast and you saying no, like you're not really ready, like that's a huge thing with just consent and making sure that you're ready to move to that next level. Because like we talked about, like the movies is a setup. Like you in a dark area, like unless you run out that boy, like it's kind of in an awkward position and location. So
it is. Protect your safety at all times.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Okay, so I wanted to just talk about the importance of intentions, just like getting their intentions and making your intentions clear. So when I was dating, like, of course it'll start off just like regular, like, hey, here's some stuff about me, and we might hang out, go on a date or something, but during that like 1 to 2 to 3 months, like during that time, it's like getting to know you, but I also want to know, like, what are you looking for right now? Like, we're not about to be like a year into this and I'm gonna be like, so what are we? No, we're not doing that. I want to know early, like, are you looking for a relationship? You just looking for a sexual relationship? Are you looking for a just a friend? Like, what are you looking for? So that's been like the main thing in my dating life, and just like me observing other people. Like, I had a situationship, and I feel like I would have avoided that situationship if I would have noticed the red flag. The red flag was when I did ask him, what are your intentions? He was just like, I mean, we just chilling, like we vibing. And whatever happens, happens. Like, no, not know whatever happens, happens. Yeah. It's like,
what's going to happen?
What's going to happen? Like, what happened was I found out he already had a girlfriend. So he was trying to have his cake and eat it too. So that's why it's so important to get those clear intentions.
Yeah. Intentions with these niggas.
Okay.
Or
with these females.
Or with these gals.
Yeah.
With any binary that you choose to date. You know what I'm saying? I think our generation is just, we have a plethora of options.
Oh, I was going to say hookup culture.
Yeah.
It is a hookup culture.
It's very much hookup culture, but we also need roommates to survive because we're poor and we get paid less than other people.
Right.
So I feel like, it's hookup culture, but people want to still like an anchor. Like when I go out, I'm doing me, but when I'm at home, this my castle. So like, it's interesting, like just seeing what people's intentions are. Me still being single, I don't know what intentions that people necessarily. A lot of my DMs come from Instagram, and it's like, oh, like you looking at my profile, this is what I'm putting out there, but you don't really know me. Or it's like you set up a dating site and it's like, oh, you do a quick little blurb, but that's about it. And so, but intentions is interesting just because it's like, I think a lot of people are feeling lonely right now, especially like being in the house and not going to work and being out as much. So like, I think people are looking for relationships and what that looks like. But as far as like, I think our generation's so weird about the word relationship. That's what I think I'm getting at. Like, what is a relationship?
Gotcha. She said, what is it? We have agreed that we are going to exclusively date each other and build towards something for the future, whether that's marriage or whatever else. Everybody don't want to get married, so so that's what I think.
And then we have those situationships, which I feel like I keep getting in.
Girl, and situationships is horrible.
Where the intentions are unclear, and I'm one of them type of people, like, I don't know when I'm flirting. I just be being nice to people. Mm-hmm. But then if you feeling that, you know what I'm saying? If you feeling that, then you know I'm going to pick it up. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think that's an issue. Like, I don't necessarily have, I mean, that's my issue. I don't necessarily come with clear intentions. Mm-hmm. That's because I'm like, what are your intentions? But,
gotcha. So you want to test them out
first. The waters.
Okay.
But I'm a really nice person, so I never know when I'm flirting, and so, like...
I'm horrible at flirting. Yeah, it'd be like, I'm gonna like 5 of your pictures on Instagram, and, I mean, if I've liked 5 of your pictures on Instagram recently, don't think that, but, like, in the past, like, I like some of your pictures, and that's how I would show that I'm interested, because I wouldn't slide in nobody's DMs, like, it'd take a lot for me to... do something, but I mean, like, with this new like story reaction stuff.
I'm a story girl. I be at sending little heart eyes real quick.
The little heart eyes on the picture, so yeah, but for real.
Yeah, I've never been much of a. I think in high school I was like, okay, I did that immersion thing, like. I'm scared to do it, so I'm just gonna do it. So when Instagram first came out, of course I DM'd Drake.
Okay.
With a photo.
With a photo. Hello. I said, you said you like your girl's BBW.
I said, I'm sorry, it's finals week. I'm laughing because I just looked at it again. I'm like, I'm sorry, it's finals week. I look a little crazy, but I just want to let you know, okay?
Okay.
So, back in high school, I used to be DMing. I can't believe I used to do that. Like, I'm talking about Facebook message. Wow. Like, oh my God, it was this one guy. He was so fine. Anyway, so I think, I don't know, but in like public, I would never do that. I think in Instagram or like social media, it's a little easier for me to like kind of like put that out there. Yeah. But still, I don't be like, you so fine, boy. I can't wait to like. I still don't be. I may like a picture, and that's it. That's how you gonna get from me.
I feel that, and I do feel like social media has made it easier because, like, in person, it's over with. I'm not approaching anybody. Mm-hmm. I'm not even looking at you for real. Like, I might see you, be like, oh, he cute. But then I'm going to turn away and start talking to my friends or something. I'm not about to be like, oh, baby, like, I just seen you across the room.
Lowe's may either out there, like, me mugging you, like, you may get grimmed if I
You may get grimmed.
What is you looking at?
Exactly.
Or, you know, sometimes I don't be knowing what I'm doing. But, you know, if I give you a little side eye. Flip the hair, keep it walking. If you're not chasing after me, I'm not stopping.
Okay.
Okay, so it's this post posted by Spiritual World, and the post says like men were asked on Twitter to give women some relationship advice. So we're gonna swipe through some of them and see if they are relatable, if we could apply them, or if it's good or bad advice. Mm-hmm. So this person says, I hate to say it, but ladies, a man has to like you a little bit more than you like him in order for the relationship to work out. Also, if he wanted to, he would have. If he wants to, he will.
I agree with that. Okay, so it was layers to that. So the first layer was him saying that a man has to like the woman more in order for it to work. Now, I don't know if I like 1,000% agree with that, but I can see where they're coming from. Not saying that women don't cheat, but men are like, I don't know if y'all are just like worse or if it's just y'all just do it more. Yeah. I don't know, but I feel like with that might be what he's referring to. Like, okay, if the man likes you more, then it's possible to be a lesser chance of him cheating on you. Now he could still like you more and still cheat on you.
And still, that's what I was just thinking. Yeah. Like,
so I'm like
you and cheat on you. Like.
Exactly. So I'm like, with that one, it's a little
Yeah.
And then the second half of that, I do agree that a man will do what he says he's going to do, and will, treat you well and whatever else he said, if he wants to, he will, and all that. Like, I agree with that. I feel like a man typically knows when y'all start kicking it, he know what he want, he know what he looking for. So if he like, oh damn, like she cool, like I want to make her my girl, he knows that shit. And if he like, oh, I just want to fuck her, he knows that shit too. Like off bills, early on. Early on. I halfway agree with his statement.
Okay. I say, okay, so the first part, I've always heard that, like, your guy is supposed to like you more than you kind of like them. As far as, like, women and men relationship, and especially, like, plus size women and men, like, your guy kind of gotta like you a little bit more than you like them, which sounds really fucked up, but...
It do kind of sound fucked up.
It's one of those societal rules, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And, like you said, the second half, what did that say? The second half was, if he likes you, he will do it or whatever. So, I don't know. To me, that I'm always on a fine line. But, like, is somebody not doing this on purpose, or are they, like, holding back? Like, do they know they not doing this, or are they not doing this on purpose? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I'm always on that, like, little fine line. So, like, and I'm anxious. I'm an anxious person, so I'd be like, should I tell this nigga what I want? Like, but
the answer is yes. At a point, though.
At a point, yes.
Not like first day. Like this is everything. Like here's everything about me. Here's what I'm looking for. Are you that person? Like that might be overload, but like down the line, like that's why I said like give it like a month or two.
Yeah.
And then
if they last that long,
if they last that long, now if they don't last that long,
mine's maxing out about 2 weeks at this.
Now, is that from you being the spin queen, or is that from them?
I'm not a spin queen.
I could have sworn you said
I'm a spinstress.
Spinstress.
I don't be spinning them, they be spinning me.
Oh, I didn't know what you meant by that. I thought you meant like I be spinning these niggas.
No, a spinstress is like the old term they used to call like a older aged woman who doesn't have kids.
I've never heard this before.
Really?
No.
Maybe I watched too many old movies, but
maybe.
Yeah,
but it's okay. You educated me, and probably somebody that's watching this. Got you. Okay.
It's like the cat lady.
Okay, gotcha.
But no cats.
No cats.
With no cats.
Gotcha.
Okay, so the next one is, when we say we're not ready for a relationship and you stick around, we let you because y'all some fools.
Wait, say it again?
When we say we're not ready for a relationship and you stick around, we let you because y'all some fools.
I wouldn't say because y'all some fools, but I would agree without the fool part. I feel like a man is going to show you or tell you what he wants. So if he is clearly telling you or showing you that I don't want a relationship, or you aren't that person, or anything that makes you feel like it's not what you're looking for, you need to get out of there. That's why I said with my situationship, I should have got out of there when I realized that we weren't looking for the same thing. I wanted a relationship. He wanted to wait. Then I found out he had a girlfriend the whole time. It happens. It really does.
I know it does.
Yeah.
And I was going to add, I was kind of going to add to that, like, okay, some women get in their minds that, like, they could change somebody, like, oh, if I stick around and show this more qualities and show this and you know, rah, maybe he will want to, but it's like, it's not no much more mesmerizing you can do. Like, if that person's not looking for a relationship and you still sticking around, they pretty much using what you giving them. Yeah. Like, if you still having sex with them, hey, like, you know what it is. You know I'm not looking for a relationship. Mm-hmm. If you still making their food every morning, or still cooking for them, still doing stuff for them, they're just like, okay, she know what it is. They know what it is. They just, they still not getting a relationship. They just being nice, doing stuff for me.
That's what you accepted it. Mm-hmm. So until you leave, you're accepting it. And they may say, I'm not ready now. It may not ever be ready, or may not want it with you. Yeah. So when people tell you something, listen to them. When people show you stuff, like listen to that. Yeah. I know that you don't listen to what people show you, but watch it, like, and it's hurt, like, okay, like, they're showing me XYZ, so this is how I need to move in order to not get your feelings hurt and to not feel like you got egg on your face at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so the next one is, please take a compliment. Please take a compliment. It's frustrating when you give a girl a compliment and she disagrees. We weren't asking for approval on our opinion, just telling you how great you look.
Whoa, that's a good one. And with plus size women, I feel like that is like near the top of the list. Yes. So I saw this girl post some screenshots of a guy in her DM. He came in her DM like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful." He said something like that, and she was like, "Do you really? Like, do you really think that?" And he was, I don't even remember what he responded after that, but I was just like, girl, no, like, that's not what we're supposed to do. Like, either you accept the compliment or don't say shit. Like, because if a man is saying, like, I like this, like, don't question the shit until he does some shit that makes you question it. Like, that nigga wasn't feeling me this whole fucking time because he was with another bitch or some shit. Yeah. But don't be like, oh no, that can't be true because I don't think this of myself, or I don't think someone who looks like you could like me. Like, honestly, with that point, like, when I was growing up, I used to think like, oh, I could only be with a bigger person. Mm-hmm. Because a bigger person understands that I'm bigger and they're bigger, right? They know my struggles, right? So I, like, my first real boyfriend, like, that I actually, like, went on dates with, he was a bigger guy. Yeah. But, like, after that, I started noticing, like, after we broke up, I started noticing, like, dang, it's a lot of different types of guys that are really interested in me. Yeah. Fit niggas that work out every day, skinny niggas, fat niggas, old niggas my age, like, it ranges. So, that, I mean, that's crazy,
yeah. And it don't project your insecurities. Like, you may not feel like you are beautiful all the time. Like, we have our good and our bad days where we deal with our self-confidence. But if somebody's saying like, hey, you are fine as hell, you just take that, even though you may not be feeling that day, take it in, you know what I'm saying, and keep it for a rainy day, for a later day. But don't make that person feel bad just because you, not even make them feel bad, but don't make them kind of like put them in an awkward position just because you are having those doubts in your self-confidence. Like you said, like, if it was the other way around and you DM a guy like, oh my God, you are fine as hell, and he was like, you think so? Really?
Right? You gonna be like,
that's some lame shit.
That's some lame shit. Like, and you already letting the nigga know, like, you not confident in yourself. You don't feel this way about yourself. Now, some niggas can deal with that, but most niggas love a confident chick, like a chick that is like, she knows she bad.
Unless they're insecure. Yeah. Unless they're the insecure.
Oh my God, nah, if the nigga is insecure, you can't be a fine bitch. I'm sorry.
You can't be
You can't wear that. You can't get your hair. No, we not fucking with insecure niggas. Period. We ain't doing it.
You can have some insecurities, but don't be taking your insecurities out on me.
Oh yeah, and I mean insecure. Go to therapy. Yeah, insecure in the sense of like, you feel like I'm like not really into you, or like wearing this for somebody else at the grocery store or some
like
shit.
You said, that reassurance, like, that person's gonna need a lot of reassurance, and may come across as a little overprotective and needy because they need that reassurance. Yeah. Like,
No, you know, like reassurance is okay and normal in a relationship.
Definitely.
Like, especially if you're in like a long-term relationship, like just making sure that person is still on the same page as you. But like reassurance like that.
Okay,
like,
red. Let's call it red reassurance.
Red reassurance.
Red reassurance to me is like, why'd you following that nigga on Instagram? You keep liking his pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And it's somebody you know since like kindergarten. Or like, you respond to a comment on Twitter, like, and somebody got something to say about it. That's like that red reassurance. Like, oh no, that don't mean nothing. Mm-hmm. Like, unless you have had like infidelities or like that person is to question you, like, if that person is asking you to unfollow somebody because they're insecure or stop talking to somebody because they're insecure and that will make them feel better, that's that reassurance I can give you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've definitely experienced that in this relationship. Just, you know, that reassurance piece. That has been more apparent in this relationship than any other relationship I've been in. But I just feel like, you know, he just want to know, like, I'm still in it. Like, we still here, we still vibing, everything's still good. So that's cool. It's just when it gets to that point of like, you know, like too much, you know, like if it gets to that too much point, we can't do that.
I completely understand that. Like, overbearing.
Like, where you going? Yeah, who you gonna be with? Well, I mean, like that stuff is okay for safety reasons, but like if it's like
you going out with your friends again,
like
lame nigga, go do something with
go do something. Oh my god.
Some business.
Go get you some business.
Go get you some business.
So silly.
Do we have a next one? You don't have to tell a man 10, 11, 12, 13 times how much you love him. If the love he claims he has for you is real, his actions will be all the reassurance you need.
I'm going to tell you a story. And the story is about my parents. Okay, so my dad once told me that him and my mom used to have, and I know this is like TMI to Kristen's life, but whatever. So my dad told me that when they were married, my mom would be like, "Why don't you say I love you?" Like she like, "I'm saying it, and you know you never say it first, or you rarely say it first." And he was saying, like, if you know that I love you and I show you I love you, I do things to show you I love you and I care about you, I don't feel like I have to tell you all the time that I love you. And he said, he turned to my grandma and was like, "Ma, do I tell you I love you all the time?" She was like, "No. Actually, I don't even remember the last time you told me that." He was like, "But do you know that I love you?" She was like, "Yeah." And he turned to my mom and said, "See?" Now, I feel like that was a bad point on my dad's end, because if your partner is asking you for something simple, I feel like that love language, she might have just needed to hear it more, be assured in that. Exactly. But I also understand my dad's point, like if he just doesn't feel like he has to say it all the time. I saw both sides. I more so leaned on my mom's side just because, you know, like I want to hear somebody say I love you, or if I'm walking out the door going to work, I love you. Have a good day, be safe, something. You know, I get that. So I kind of. And that might be a man thing too. I don't know.
I mean, no, not necessarily. Like that's kind of how I was raised. Like we didn't really talk much in the mornings or say like I love you, like outwardly. Like just for example, like even good mornings. Like I don't even think I started saying good morning to people until like college.
Wow.
So like if you woke up in the morning, just hop up, get your clothes on, you about to go to school. Like you know what the deal is. Like so it definitely depends on like if you were verbal a lot or if your household was verbal a lot and like outwardly said those things. Like I grew up with a lot of just deep South people that don't really say like I love you a lot. Like they just, you know, show it with action. So it's definitely important to pay attention to your partner's just love languages and being sensitive to that. Like if you know that person needs those words, like it's not gonna, that ego, like I said, like get out of your ego and say I love you. Like,
yeah,
it shouldn't be a thing that they should know that I love them. Because
right.
I mean, my father grew up saying that to us sometimes too, but it's like a get out of that they should know rather than I need to show or I can show. Like, and I think that's super important.
Yeah, I do too. And you know, I saw a post that was like, you know, it only takes like a couple seconds to say these words like, I'm sorry, I was wrong, I apologize, I love you, you know, certain things. Like, I just feel like we just gotta get out of our heads about certain things, especially if you want to build a healthy relationship. You have to get out of that mindset of, oh, I gotta wait for them to apologize. I'm not apologizing 1st, or you know, or just anything where it's like stunting the communication. Like, if we had an argument and like, what are we gonna do? We just go about to walk around just being mad at each other? Like, no, we're in the same household together. I cannot just like dwell just in sadness. So I cannot. We have to get over this.
We gonna either have to talk about it or I'm gonna have to leave.
Yeah.
Not like leave permanently, but I'm not going to
leave the space. Yeah.
Feeling awkward in my space I'm supposed to be comfortable in. Like, no. I think that leads to the next one. And it says, don't expect your man to be a mind reader. We stupid. Just be straight up and exact about what you want and expect from us. Lay your standards out and don't settle for anything less from him. If he starts slipping, check him. When we love you, is nothing we won't do to make you happy. So, I kind of agree with that. I think for anybody, like we were just discussing, like, we can't expect somebody to know how to love us, especially if we're still, you know, just developing how we love ourselves. So to expect a stranger to like love you, you know what I'm saying, is like, okay, like, you know, some basic outlines, like be nice to a person,
right?
Tell them they look nice,
right.
Like feed them, but like, just like we're saying, those reassurances. So, if he had a little pet name like Juicy Thick, he called you in front of like his family, you'd be like, don't
call me Juicy Thick in front of your mama.
Don't call me that in front of your mama. Like, just little stuff like that, like little things that may bother you. I don't expect somebody to like know.
And he kind of talked about what we talked about, making intentions clear. And he also mentioned not settling and not lowering your standards for somebody. And okay, man, shout out to you for saying that, because definitely don't lower your standards for anybody. Honestly, like, if you have like super high standards, like, it might be harder for you to find somebody to fit into all those high standards. Like, oh, he gotta have BMW, he gotta make 6 figures a year, and he gotta own a basketball team. Yeah. I don't fucking know, but like, if your standards,
blonde hair on one side, brown on the other, with a green eye, and like just some crazy outlandish stuff. Right,
like, don't have super high standards, but also like don't have super low standards either. Like, kind of be
like
that,
like teeth.
Like, he got teeth, you know, he got all his teeth.
He got all his teeth.
I mean, I'm sorry, but yeah.
He got a job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
he shared a car with his brother. It's like, oh, okay. But yeah, I think the intentions are really, and then that checking thing, like checking somebody early, I think that's important too. Like,
yeah.
Okay, so one thing I run into, because I am a sex educator, people like to argue with me about the like whole R. Kelly thing, and like try to like.
They like to argue with you about it?
They just really want to
music versus the person, artist versus music.
But it comes up quite frequently, and like.
Really?
Yeah, and kind of like settings are like, nigga, you trying to get up on and you defending R. Kelly. So like, I gotta cut that early. I'd be like, they be like trying to play R. Kelly, and I'd be like, no. And they still be like, it's music versus the artist. And I'm like, but you're really killing the vibe, and you can drop me the fuck off.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, well, I can turn this off then. So I think that's important. That's just an example I can think of. Like, don't try to convince me that R. Kelly is one of the world's greatest artists, especially when you know the type of work that I do is pretty insensitive. Like, so just checking niggas at the book.
You got to.
You got to.
Yeah. And I mean, and even I had to be slightly checked. Slightly. Like when we first got together, I like on Instagram, like if somebody like gave me a compliment, like, oh, that's a nice dress, I say thank you, right? He like, I don't even want you commenting back to these niggas, like because like it'll go from like them leaving a comment to them sliding in my DM.
Yeah.
So he like if I'll tell him that or show him that, he'll be like, oh no, like I just feel like that's just causing like too much extra communication between you and other niggas. So I would just prefer if you didn't respond to guys on social media.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a decent ask. Like unless it's somebody that I've been knowing, like if I respond to a guy, it's more than likely because I know you in real life and we like grew up together, or I know you from college or something. But other than that, like I mean, that was a pretty simple ask that I feel like if I were to be like, no, like he would have been like, bitch, why you got to respond to these other niggas?
Yeah,
like
to everybody, right?
Exactly. So I mean, like when people ask like for reasonable things, like okay, but if it's like unreasonable, like, oh, you gotta stop talking to your dad or something, like what? Like people really be trying to be controlling out here.
Why you always hanging out with your best friend? Bitch, because that's my best friend.
Okay, been knowing them longer than I've known you, sir.
And I'm probably still gonna know them longer than you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was a good one though.
Yeah, I like that one. Next one, be upfront and direct about your intentions and expectations from your partner in relationships. Some men will do what you allow them to do. Put your foot down in the beginning about your relationship and non-negotiables. So that's something we've been talking about, like making your intentions clear. Like if you want him to be dick and weed, then let him be dick and weed.
Not dick and weed though. Like that's what he saved in under my phone. Dick and weed. An
8th and a 5th. You know what I'm saying? If you want him to be that, just let him be that. But if you want him to be brunch bae, let him be brunch bae. Don't treat him like dick and weed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just don't.
Yeah.
That's rude.
It is.
But yeah, have your intentions clear. Like, I think that's really important.
Them intentions clear, and know your non-negotiables. And of course, if they come up, and if somebody does anything that you don't like or don't agree with, just bring it up to them. And if they're unwilling to hear you, if they're unwilling to take what you're saying into consideration, depending on what it is, or change it, they're probably not the person for you.
Okay, so the next one's a little problematic to me.
Okay.
First one, it says, keep your girlfriends out of your business. Never compare your relationship to other people's on social media highlights. Support his goals and dreams. Set boundaries and standards or expectations from day one. And pay attention to your senses. They never lie. So the keep your girlfriends out of your business thing is problematic to me. Just because that is a control thing I think people use. Like, I mean, black people, of course, we say like, oh no, everybody not supposed to know your business. Yeah. But sometimes people use that to an extent to be controlling. Like, I don't need to hear about if you and Lil Ray J got into an argument because y'all didn't want shrimp or last again. Like, I don't want to hear about that girl. Like, or I could. I don't care. But don't be it to where it's like, yeah, this nigga's been, possibly abusing me verbally, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And I've been kind of keeping it to myself because, relationships go like that. I don't like when people do that. Like, if that's, that crosses a line. And I feel like if you do tell your friends some shit and they are like, what the fuck? You should take that to, like, as consideration, like, because some stuff do be out of the ordinary in a relationship.
For sure. It really does. Can you read his first his statement again?
So it's keep your girlfriends out your business. Never compare your relationship to other people's on social media.
That's what it was. That one right there. You cannot compare your relationship to other people's. Like, you gotta think, on social media, people are putting forth like their best self.
Did
like,
you hear the little baby and Jada story?
Girl.
Sweet.
Okay, girl. And people be looking
embarrassing.
You will be looking at a picture of little baby and Jada like, oh my God, they got such a great relationship. I want to be like them. I want to have a relationship like them. My nigga getting money, I'm getting money, and we happy together. And then all of a sudden, little Miss London pops up like, Jada ain't leaving him. He smashed me to the mattress. Like, what? Like,
that's embarrassing.
That was embarrassing.
Or even the one, what was the YouTube one over the summer that broke people heart?
Ken De'Ara.
Yeah. That broke people heart.
Broke people little hearts. I've never watched one of their videos.
Me either. I only watched their engagement video. I was like, this cute as fuck. And then
as fuck. Her little dress was cute as fuck.
Cute. Yeah. And then a year later, blah.
Right.
And even like the Ari, like Ari the Don G Herbo, like, don't look up to the social media relationships. Like, that stuff be only on camera. Like, low key, them people be hating each other off screen. Like,
only on camera.
Okay.
Drake verse.
Drake.
Okay, but no, for real, like, she looked like a star, but only on camera. That's how it be for relationships, too. Like, I could post a picture of me and my boyfriend smiling, and then the next second, we arguing. Like, I mean, it really goes like that.
Okay, so, next we're going to talk about, the next tip was, if a man seems interested one day and uninterested in another, he's talking to 5 other women and doesn't know what he wants. Leave his confused ass to play games with somebody else. I completely agree. You're on the roster, girl. Okay. You are one of 5 to 6, to 7 to however many people he can DM in a day. And that goes back to that tip of like, if he texts you good morning and then, or if somebody texts you good morning and then it's no conversation throughout the rest of the day until like, what was your day? Oh, it was cool. And then it's good morning again. You in that little cycle of that. Like, 9 times out of 10, they're talking to other people throughout the day that they're not talking to you. Like, so that's really important. Like,
but I also feel like it is normal to date more than one person. It's just when it gets to that point of like, I feel more of a connection with you.
Yeah.
Like, so these other people should kind of like fall off of my roster.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's okay to like, when you starting out, like, okay, I'm ready to date. I'm dating. Okay, I meet you. We talking. I'm getting to know you. You a little iffy with the texting, but he's a great texter. He want to take me out. All right. So it just kind of, I feel like it naturally people just naturally fall off. Like, and then you naturally become attracted to like maybe one person, maybe more, depending on what your life is like. But yeah, yes, I agree and disagree with that one.
Yeah, I feel like that goes into like, let me see it. Let me look at it again. That goes into like intentions though. Like we said, like, cause if you dating multiple people, but you in my messages acting like you only talking to me, that's different.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Or, you know what, if I find out who else you dating while we talking, I'm cutting you off low-key.
Low-key.
Because that's messy to me. Like, if I can find out who you dating while we still talking, that's messy and you're not up on your shit.
Yeah. Because if I find out, then that means that y'all probably posting pictures together.
Somebody saying something.
So, if you... Yeah, I see that too.
Yeah.
That's why I said I kind of see both sides. Like, I feel like as the person that is just solely talking to maybe one person and you feel like they dating other people, you just need to figure out if you want to continue talking to them or remove yourself.
Yeah, and that plays a big part too, because I mean, I've been in situations where a person, I could tell that person was talking to multiple people, but when it came to like us time, they didn't make me feel like, you know what I'm saying, I'm talking to multiple people. I knew just because I was picking up on shit that they were doing, But when it was just like us texting or spending time together, it wasn't like a, oh, okay, I know this nigga texting somebody else when they go into the other room. It was just like it's me and you right here chilling right now. And I think that makes a difference. Like,
Definitely.
if somebody is like, if you tell them something, okay, this is a big one. It makes a difference if somebody is just rotating you and somebody is dating you. Rotating means you get in those little cycles of just texting what